cook. Let's talk about Shakur Stevenson being the new Adrien Broner. And I know y'all, you hating on Shakur. No, I ain't hating on him, being honest. You know, people say, you just be hating. The more intel you get, you know, in boxing, the difference it get. Your opinion changes. This is boxing. So the reason I say that is because he looked more, you know, he's had his shaky confidence down there at the lower weight classes. Like when that cop hit him and he started running around like a chicken with his head cut off. But for the most part, he was a better fighter at 26 and 30. And at 35, you know, you see the gap close. The performances ain't as clean, as dominant. The power dropped off a lot. And he seemed like a guy that was getting off or getting by off his size. Now, when we talk about skill for skill, to the naked eye, he seemed to be more skillful than Adrien Broner. But when you start looking at the level of competition that he's getting in there with, I'm not sure that we can say he really separated himself. And Shakur might be that type of fighter that fight up and down to his competition. He might get in there with Tank, and he might just really be getting bored in there with other fighters. But he might get in there with Tank, and he might really step it up. That also can be the case as well too. He may fight up and down to the level of opposition. You know, most kids that they say that are prodigies in the classroom, you know, they cause a lot of problems, have a lot of disciplinary problems because they're not getting challenged. And maybe that's the same thing with Shakur Stevenson, that he's not getting challenged in the ring. You know, he's not getting challenged in the ring. So if he's not truly getting challenged in the ring, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he's just getting bored in there. You know, fighting the electricians of the UK and all that type of stuff. So that might be a case. But what I see is it just seemed like a guy who was really dominating guys based off their size. Based off his size and his, you know, now that the size gap is getting closed, you starting to see, you know, he ain't as dominant. Hands starting to fall apart, you know, fighting more passive, you know, not as aggressive as he was at some of the other fights, you know. So that's what you learn about Adrien Broner. He started moving up the ladder, even though he was showing his toughness. He was showing how tough he really was at the end of the day. But you can notice when he stepped up in size, that gap really closed on him. And Shakur Stevenson starting to show some signs of that, where that gap is really starting to close on him. You know, that gap is starting to close. You know, you might say, what do you mean to get? Like, you can tell, like, he's not as dominant. Even the confidence, you know, he was talking about, you know, moving up. He said, I'm staying at 135 for a long time. Keyshawn can move up, and probably he don't have the confidence. He don't have confidence, at 135 pounds to really be, really like he was when he had a size advantage over Valdez or Joey Gonzalez. And he had a significant size advantage, you know, over the smaller guys. You know what I'm saying? And now that gap is starting to close, and he fighting guys closer to his size, I'm telling y'all, he kind of remind me of Adrien Broner a little bit, where now it became a lot more competitive. Or he closed the gap. You know, you can just tell. You know, even though I can't really explain it, like, you know, I just love to see him fight somebody in the upper echelon of that division to see if it's more Adrien Broner or is it more him being complacent and bored or not getting the top fights. That's what I would like to see. Is it more complacency and I'm bored and I'm not fighting, I'm not getting challenged, or is it that it's a real size of it? You know, the size gap is closed, and now, you know, I'm not as dominant because I don't have a significant size advantage over everybody else. So that's what you really start to question. I'm really starting to question about him. It's saying, is it a complacency gap, being bored, or is it like, okay, I'm not as big as No Diddy, I'm not as big as everybody else. Some guys may be bigger, stronger, a little bit more durable at this weight class. So now I got to work a little bit harder. So, you know, that's the $1 million question right there. So we only can get that question answered by him continuing to step up in class as far as an opponent. So that's how we can get that question answered. But guys got to be willing to fight him. But if you're going to make it a snoozer, it's going to be hard to get guys in the ring. some guys, you know, in the loss, they want to still look good where their stock can still go up and people still don't want to see it. Think about Edwin De Los Santos. When the last time we seen that guy? He put on, you know, Shakur, he could put on snoozers because there's so much guaranteed money behind him. And people believe in the talent. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but people believe in the talent. You know? People believe in the talent. But then you start around and you look at, you know, a guy like Adrien Broner, and your stock went down, and it's like, man, you know, you got to get in where you fit in there. So, yeah, you can't afford those slips and those falls. So you got to understand, the guy getting there with Shakur Stevenson, and it's one of the boringest fights you've seen. You may not see that dude on TV again for a long time. No matter if he gave it his all or not. So guys ain't really in a rush to get in there and fight guys who bring the entertainment value of Shakur Stevenson, because really it can hurt your confidence. I remember Sergeant Moore said it one time. He said, "I'm not afraid if you hit hard. I'm only afraid if I can't hit you." That made perfect sense. That made perfect sense. Perfect sense. You know, but nonetheless, I'm starting to whether that is, if the size advantage is gone, you know, now that gap starting to close. There's gonna come a time in his career, if he hangs around long enough, he gonna have to fight a motherfucker, and that might be the day he gets the respect that he deserves. You know, and they keep comparing him to Floyd Mayweather and shit. Oh, Floyd threw hands when he was young. Floyd threw hands when he was young. He threw them hands. He threw them hands. So that's gonna be the $1 million question. So is it the size? It was the size gap. Right? Is it the size gap? Or is it, you know, is it just complacency? I'm not getting challenged. I'm love to see what it is. And, you know, Tate made a good point. He got an amateurish type style. He don't have no confidence. It's hard to have confidence when you got brittle hands. But it also should make him more creative as a fighter. You know? But his whole thing is, if I keep winning and keep putting these wins together, they're going to have no choice but to respect it. That's how he looked at it. I ain't mad at it. Bernard looked at it the same way. When Mayweather became older, he looked at it the same way. So I definitely understand where they're coming from. I definitely get it. But ultimately, when boxing is not at the forefront of even combat sports anymore, let alone sports, you gotta provide something different. He talk a good game. He talk spicy. He talk like, you know, you come to the front door, I'm gonna let the Draco go. But you know, in reality, it's a water gun at best, a cap gun. Not even a real gun with blanks. So, well, yeah. In reality, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, is it he just getting bored with the comp? Or that size advantage gone, he ain't that good no more. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't like he was a knockout puncher to begin with at all, but you know, he seemed to be a little bit more confident in his movements. You know, he seemed to be a little bit more aggressive than he is right now. So, but only time will tell. I'm a sensitive size gap is closed. And I think he know it. How hard the guy's hitting up there, how strong they is, and really much he in survival mode. He already a scary ass fighter. He's scared to get hit. I say that all the time. One thing about AB wasn't scared to get hit, but it is what it is, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button, hit the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. So live, we drop video financially. You want to support the channel? Cash App, $CJ313, Venmo CJ313, PayPal link in the description, hit the link tree, follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, Amazon, Twitch, join the Patreon. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know,